The debt ceiling debates are always funny because the people in Congress act like it's never going to get passed, but it always does because they know that if they don't pass anything, they will be affected. It's like when they didn't pass a budget for the FAA, and then people in Congress realized, oh wait, that means we can't take our private jets, and so they passed a budget.
President Joe Biden and House Speaker Kevin McCarthy were back at the negotiating table today in an effort to do a deal on raising the nation's debt ceiling. The meeting came after President Biden cut short his trip to Asia to focus on the debt limit talks here at home. After the meeting, McCarthy said the two sides made progress.
I felt we had a productive discussion. We don't have an agreement yet, but I did feel the discussion was productive in areas that we have differences of opinion. So the problem is not revenue, the problem is spending. So if you want to know where our differences have been, it's always been the same place.
Following all of this are White House correspondent Laura Barone-Lopez and congressional correspondent Lisa Desjardins. So Laura, what's the word from the White House with this meeting wrapping up with no agreement and time running out to do a deal?
Jeff, essentially, it's a little bit of the same when the White House entered this meeting, which is, again, they feel as though it was productive. They are optimistic about being able to reach an ultimate deal, but there are still some sticking points around spending caps, how long those would be, as well as Republican efforts to cut food assistance programs. Now, coming out of this meeting, the fact that there was no substantial movement in terms of the specifics, the president could very well face more pressure, which he has from progressives, to use the 14th Amendment. There's this workaround that the White House, that President Biden has said he potentially has the authority to use this clause in there that says the U.S. debt should not ever be questioned. And he thinks he has the authority, but he doesn't think he has the time to use it, Jeff.
And Lisa, where are Republicans on this? It's striking that everything that the House Speaker said to reporters at the White House after this meeting, he was basically saying to reporters on the Hill before the meeting in terms of the talks so far being productive.
You know, this is almost like a campaign season. Kevin McCarthy has a stump speech on his negotiations that he keeps repeating. Productive, optimistic, though. Those words are good signs from the Speaker of the House as well. And I did hear a couple of new things. One, the Speaker said that he and the President expect to talk every day from this point out. You would hope so with the deadline coming soon. But he also complimented the negotiators from the White House in a way you rarely hear when these kinds of talks come down to this moment. He said these are the best, most professional negotiators, most respectful that he had ever worked with. And if there is hope, it is in that kind of respect between the two sides here. However, as Laura and you are saying, there are big differences here. And now McCarthy and the president are going to send their staff to try and keep talking tonight, tomorrow, to figure out if they can make the difference in these gaps. It's going to be hard.